I'm Nolan Ming, City Administrator, here to help us decode our city's finances. Have you ever looked at a city budget and wondered how anyone can possibly make heads or tails of the information? I know I have. Hundreds of pages of numbers, yet it's difficult to draw any conclusions beyond the obvious. We're shifting from traditional, opaque financial reporting to a model that empowers our citizens and stakeholders with clear, actionable data. The information in this presentation exemplifies this approach by decoding publicly available financial data to generate visual indicators of McMinnville's fiscal strategy. By embracing transparent local accounting, we can better understand the true costs of infrastructure, the implications of deferred maintenance, and the sustainability of our growth strategies, for example. This knowledge is crucial for ensuring that we can meet our obligations to our residents now and in the future. We extracted the data from our 100-page annual comprehensive financial report and put it into the Strong Towns financial tool to help translate our complex financial information into a clearer, more accessible story about our city's fiscal health. The information that I'm about to share is broken down into 3 categories: sustainability, flexibility, and vulnerability. Our first sustainability indicator is the net financial position. This indicator illustrates the difference between the city's financial assets, like cash and receivables, and its liabilities, like debt and pensions. This is the cumulative surplus or deficit that the city has accumulated through successive budget cycles. A positive net financial position suggests that the city has more financial assets than obligations and is in a better position to weather downturns, invest in infrastructure, or respond to emergencies without resorting to borrowing or service cuts. If this number is negative, the city has spent more than it has saved and is relying on future revenue to pay past bills. A downward trend means the city is growing more reliant on borrowing or deferring payments, while an upward trend means it's becoming more financially secure. Next is the financial assets to total liabilities, which is a different way of presenting the net financial position. This indicator illustrates the city's financial assets, such as cash, receivables, and other short-term holdings, divided by its total liabilities. This ratio shows whether the city has enough liquid financial resources to cover what it owes. A ratio below 1 means it would not be able to pay off its liabilities using its financial assets, which is a sign of financial stress. A rising trend means the city is improving its financial buffer. A falling trend suggests the city is becoming less able to handle its obligations without borrowing or cutting services. Next, we have total assets to total liabilities. This indicator illustrates the value of all the city's assets, including infrastructure, divided by its total liabilities. A ratio above 1 means the city owns more than it owes, which means we're solvent. Below 1 means it owes more than it owns, which means we're insolvent. A downward trend means the city is becoming less solvent, while an upward trend shows improving financial resilience. And our final sustainability indicator is net debt to total revenues, which illustrates the total liabilities the city owes compared to how much revenue it collects in a year. This shows how many years of income it would take to pay off all debts if every dollar went to debt repayment. If the ratio is rising, debt is growing faster than income, which is unsustainable. If it's falling, the city is gaining control of its obligations. Our first of 2 flexibility indicators is interest to total revenues. This illustrates the percentage of annual revenues spent on interest payments. This indicator shows how much of the budget is consumed by past borrowing. The higher the percentage, the less room for services, maintenance, or investment. An increasing trend limits future choices and can crowd out basic services, while a decreasing trend improves flexibility and budget health. And our other flexibility indicator is net book value to cost of tangible capital assets, which illustrates the current value of the city's physical assets compared to their original cost. This illustrates how well the city is maintaining its infrastructure. A low value means assets are aging and wearing out. A declining trend means the city is falling behind on maintenance, while a stable or rising trend suggests it's keeping up. Our final category is vulnerability, for which we have just one indicator: government transfers to total revenue. This illustrates the share of the city's income that comes from state or federal aid. High dependency on outside funding makes the city vulnerable to political or economic shifts beyond our control. If the trend is rising, the city is becoming more dependent on outside help. If it's falling, the city is strengthening its local revenue base. As we conclude, let us reaffirm our commitment to fiscal transparency and accountability. By moving beyond conventional financial reporting and embracing tools that illuminate our financial trajectory, we empower ourselves and our community to make informed, responsible decisions. Let this presentation be a step forward in building a stronger, more resilient city grounded in data, guided by values, and accountable to the people we serve.